girl, you're so smart, you're so different. And in those days, as I told you, inclusion wasn't, and this was even further than that. And he said, if I love her, I'll marry her. And his only regret, he said, after inventing the telephone was that my family members won't be able to speak to me. And he founded the company, he registered his patent. His company still exists after 150 years. AT&T, American Telephone and Telegraph Company, right? It still exists, all because there was this one man who took the initiative to register his patent. He wasn't scared. The fear of loss had gone. There was only desire for gain. There was another invention which happened. It was by the, you all know who invented the aeroplane. Wright brothers. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I got scared because there was such stunned silence. I thought might be I've lost my connection. Okay, doesn't matter. And also there was a small explosion near my house, which just pop, some sound came. So I thought might be the electricity was gone or something. So I was a little scared. Okay, coming to the point. There was this invention of the aeroplane, Wright brothers. Did you know there was a scientist called Samuel Pierpont Langley who had developed the prototype of the aeroplane much before Wright brothers? But even he was scared. He didn't go and register his patent. And you know what he was scared of? Some of you will identify with it. He was scared of his wife. His wife used to blackmail him. Daniel, darling, don't go. If you go and try your invention, suppose you fall off, what will happen to our children? What will happen to me? Thank God Wright brothers were not married. And Orville and Wilbur Wright registered the patent. In fact, they faced more stiff opposition. You know, the Wright brothers' father was Bishop Wright. He was the bishop at North Carolina in USA. And he said, y'all both are not my children. As per the scriptures, flying is only reserved for angels and birds. Y'all are going against God. He kicked them out of the house. They fell down from their invention. They were battered, they were bruised, but they didn't leave their initiative. People ridiculed them. And in 1902, the first manned flight took off from Kitty Hawk in North Carolina. One of the greatest invention of our time. What used to take 36, I mean, 6 months, 12 months to reach from one end from here to USA takes 24 hours. All because somebody took that initiative. So what I'm urging you to do is take that initiative. Take up any small thing. Somehow feel that my desire for gain is more. Look at what, what happens is we generally don't contemplate on what we are. You always think what will happen if something goes wrong. But now, next time, just turn your thinking towards the fact that what will I lose if I don't take this initiative? I didn't take up the sergeant at arms post. I lost 26 opportunities to speak. I didn't take up this position of VP education. I lost 26 opportunities to connect with people and persuade them to give their speeches. So now look at what you're losing rather than what you're actually getting scared of failing. We look at what we are going to fail at. We're not looking at what we are going to gain.
Good.
Another incident of my 10th. Have I run out of time? Should I stop?
No, no, please go ahead.
Am I run out of time? Should I end it here?
Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Okay, I'll speak for another 4 5 minutes and we'll finish it. Okay. So we don't look at what we are going to, what are the opportunities we are losing. In my 10th, again, something related to what happened is I was in an ICSE school, as I told you, Bishop Corn Boys School, and we had a sixth subject and I had taken commerce. Okay, and I liked the subject a lot. So I wanted to take up commerce for my 11th and 12th. First PUC, and it's called Pre-University College in Bangalore. First PUC, it's similar to your 11th and 12th. But in those days, as I told you, we were not an inclusive society, and most of them we used to say that a blind person should always take up arts because commerce, debit, credit, math, stats. How are you going to do it? And I was a little confused. And I've been very, very fortunate in my life that I've got the right people who have given me the right advice at the right time. And there was this NGO called Abilities in Bangalore, and there was a person called Babu Rangaraj. I went and met him. He used to do a little bit of recording for me, Majority of the recording used to be done by another NGO called Mitra Jyoti. In those days, we had audio cassettes, okay, where we used to record our lectures. So he also used to do a bit of the recording for me. And I put this, he was an English lecturer. He worked in a government college and he gave it up to start this NGO. And I told him, sir, everybody's telling me to take up arts, but my heart is in commerce. Should I take up commerce? And very cryptically, Babu Rangraj, in his very typical style, he's an English lecturer and he has to have that slight accent. He said, Rajdeep, somebody is waiting for you to cross the hurdle so that their race can begin. And he didn't say anything after that. Somebody is waiting for you to cross the hurdle so that their race can begin. I said, what is he trying to tell me? I went home, slept over it 2 days, 3 days. Even though I was good in English, I was thinking, what is he telling me? I have to cross the hurdle so that their race can begin. And then it struck me after 3 or 4 days. If I cross this hurdle of taking up commerce, might be it will open the door for hundreds of other visually impaired to take up commerce at a later point of time. And I took the plunge. Although there was a little bit of resistance to get me into college, but somehow because I got a very high percentage in my 10th standard, I got around 98. I convinced Father Walter Andrade to take me into St. Joseph's College of Commerce. He said, you will be able to do it. I said, yes, sir, see my marks. And I took up commerce and I'm so glad I did it because today, nearly 20 years later, the preferred stream of education for most visually challenged and blind children across the globe is now commerce. In my college itself, I have 5 students who have cleared IIM, Indian Institute of Management. 3 students have gone to FMS, Narsi Mohan. You name the B school and they've gotten and they're in amazing positions. All because you need somebody to leave a legacy, right? Who knows? I just took the plunge, but it can pave the path for so many other people. So just take that initiative. You have nothing to lose, right? You're going to leave a legacy. If it succeeds, it succeeds. And who knows who's going to follow you in the future? Till now, I get calls. Sir, I took up commerce because you're a commerce lecturer in Jain College. And I feel so happy. I say, wonderful. Good. Today morning, I got a call from a boy who had just finished his 10th standard. And he says, sir, I'm taking up commerce, but I heard you're a great teacher in Jain College. Why don't I take up commerce? I said, wonderful. Take it up. Okay. So every time when you take an initiative, you knows you might be leaving a legacy for somebody else. Let me end with this short story. This happened in 1902. There was this small house in northern France, and there was this old man whose hands were severely crippled with arthritis. His hands were wrinkled, the bones were popping out, and he was requesting his friend, Henry Matisse. He said, Henry, give me the brush, I want to paint. And Henry was telling him, why do you want to paint? Your hands are paining, they are crippled, they have arthritis. Every stroke of paint you give will hurt you. That painter said, no, give me the brush. Please give me the brush. Henry Matisse gave him the brush. And as one of the most famous impressionist painters of our time, Justin Renoir, painted on the canvas, he looked at Henry Matisse and he said, the pain passes, the beauty remains. The pain passes, the beauty remains. And I want to tell you the same thing. When you take the initiative, it might be painful at the beginning. There's a famous quote by Robin Sharma who says, change is always difficult in the beginning, messy in the middle, but beautiful at the end. And as Renoir said, the pain passes, the beauty remains. I want all of y'all to take that small initiative today. Always see that your fear does not overpower your desire for gain. And remember those 4 lines? He slept under the starry skies. He basked under the sun. He led a life of going to do, but left with nothing done. Don't let that happen to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rajdeep sir. Can we have everyone on mute and hear the thunderous applause for Dr. Rajdeep?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. That was beautiful. You have left us today with so many beautiful things to ponder upon, and also definitely to plan the next initiative that we are planning to take and take that plunge. Now, learning is an interactive session. We all know that. So let's have time for 10 minutes for Q&A. Those who all want to ask questions, they can drop the questions to me personally on my personal chat. Let's have a round of Q&A. So the first question I have on my chat is that whenever we are planning to take some initiative, we are always surrounded with more negative emotions and thoughts than positive. What will happen? What if I fail? So how to deal with that?
Ask yourself the other way around. What will not happen? What if I succeed? What will happen if I do well? So whenever you get these questions which are telling you not, okay, what if I take over the VP education and what if speakers? What if I take it up and I transform my club? What if I take up this course and it doesn't help me? What if I take up this course and it becomes good? So always try and ask the counter question to the question which you are getting in your mind. That helps a lot. And the second thing which you have to do is, I know these negative emotions can come up and it's very, very natural. You'll have this fear which is creeping up. But the only thing is, how do you overcome fear? The only way in which you can overcome fear is by facing it, right? What was that? कौन सा वो ad था? डर के आगे जीत है, isn't it? So always beyond fear, there's always victory, isn't it? Always think. Suppose you would have got scared and said, "Why did I join Toastmasters? I have to go up and speak every day." But aren't you happy today that because that fear of negative emotion, I might have to go up again and again, you took that step forward. That's why you are here and you're listening to me and you have so many good friends. So always ask yourself the counter question. If I don't do this, what will I lose on? What's the maximum loss I can suffer? In stock market, we have something called as a stop loss, you know. So you say, okay, maximum, okay, I lose this, right? Might be I lose 2,500, 4,000 rupees as the entrance fee. But beyond that, if I gain something, I'll gain much more. And remember, the only way to overcome negative emotions is by facing it. The more you run away from something, the more it will haunt you again and again, right? So those negative emotions will always, there's this famous, I don't know if I should tell you this, okay, but I'll tell you the story. There's a very famous story of Krishna and Balrama, okay, where Krishna and Balrama were going through a forest and Krishna says it's very dark, let's sleep. So he tells Balrama, you you watch over me, and then as soon as it's midnight, then I'll get up and I'll watch over you. And when Krishna sleeps and then Balrama is there, one monster comes and he screams. And Balrama gets really scared. Oh my God, the monster becomes a little bigger. Again, he screams. Again, Balrama gets really scared and he starts shivering. Again, the monster becomes bigger and it becomes huge. And finally, it becomes so huge that Balrama can't take it and he faints. He opens his eyes the next day morning and he finds Krishna smiling over there. And he asked Krishna, yesterday night I saw a monster. It was so huge. Krishna opens his hand and he says, this fellow, and that monster had become a small, tiny dwarf. He said, yeah, this one, how did it become small? He said, when you fainted, I got up. I thought it was my chance. The monster screamed and I just smiled and I said, come. He became smaller. He again screamed and I said, come. He became smaller. This monster is Bhayasura, the fear monster. The more you get scared, the bigger it becomes. The more you face it, the shorter it becomes. So think of that story next time, isn't it? The more you feel scared, the more you face it, your fears shrink. The more you get scared, your fears grow. Okay?
Thank you, sir. So we have a compliment for you that they are loving your enthusiasm to share wisdom. Thank you so much, sir. And this thing was beautiful. I am sure It has answered a lot of questions for everyone who think twice or who think so much about what is going to happen whenever they are going to take that plunge. So we have next question for you. The next question is, if your passion and your skills are different, how do you choose?
This is a question. Now, see, I don't know what your passion is and what your skills are, but one thing I'm telling you, in case you have a passion and that passion does not match your skill set and you're not going to make a living out of it, my advice to you is give a little space at least for your passion for at least 2 times a week or 3 times a week so that your passion doesn't die. I'm not going to tell you leave everything of your skills. Let's say you're a computer programmer and you don't like computer programming. I'm just giving and your passion is dancing. And you know that dancing is not going to give you a living or a livelihood. But what my request to you is, might be if you're a computer programmer for 5 days a week, for the sixth and seventh day, can you do a little bit of dancing, see YouTube videos, teach some children in and around your area? I know a girl, I teach in colleges, and I have lots of examples like this. There was this girl called Bhavna. She was a chartered accountant. She was studying for a chartered, but her passion was this origami, making these paper plates. She makes these small Ganesha idols. She loves it. So 5 days a week, she works in EY in Bangalore. On Saturday and Sunday, she goes to an orphanage and she teaches them how to make these paper plates, these paper idols. She does all that. And she feels satisfied, right? So it's okay. But the whole thing is, if you don't give attention to your passion, then it leads to a frustration over a period of time and that explodes in other ways. You'll start shouting at your children, your wife, etc. So you have to give a little space. As Abraham Maslow always says that what you can be, you must be. And if you can't be that, that will start eating you up. I know another girl. She did her MBA from my college and she took up a job in HSBC as a banker. But she wasn't so interested in banking. But her passion was dancing. But you know what she does? Every evening she conducts these, I don't know what's this class, Zumba classes and these contemporary dance classes for these children in near my house. There are some apartments. She conducts that and she lives a passion. In fact, what she did is she somebody saw her dancing so well and they engaged her for this marriage dances. They have these programs, no, marriage dances, and she now teaches marriage dancing. And she's saying, now I'm earning more from my marriage dancing passion than I'm earning from my skill. And I think so she'll be giving her papers very soon in HSBC because she wants to concentrate on it. So I'm not telling you to blindly follow your passion, but please give a little time for your passion and slowly see whether your passion can become a source of your skill and your livelihood. If it doesn't become, it's okay. But don't ignore your passion. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Definitely, sir. Thank you so much. The last question for the day is that while we are taking initiatives, while we are doing something, we face a lot of distractions. So how to get rid of those distractions?
The whole thing is, you have to ask yourself this question: what is more important for me, getting into those distractions or focusing on what I want to achieve? I know this is a perennial problem of our time. You're interested in, let's say, giving a speech, but you'll get a WhatsApp message and you'll get lost into YouTube for 1 hour, 1.5 hours. What a distraction. But my answer to you is, ask yourself this question, and it may not happen over a period of time, but ask yourself this question: am I giving more time for what I really want to do, or am I giving more time for what I don't want to do? You can start off with a small timetable. See, there are two things which happen, There are some things which are scheduled in life, and there are some things which are unscheduled in life. And the tragedy of life is that what is important for us is not scheduled. What is not so important becomes scheduled. I want to see this I'm not some serial, Dance Divani or Indian Idol. So for me, that time is fixed: 9:30 to 10:30, 9:30 to 11, 8:30 to 9:30. I have to see Anupama or some serial or some rubbish. Correct or no? You want to see that, not rubbish. I'm just giving an example. Please don't hurt me, hit me afterwards. Okay. That is scheduled. Your TV time is scheduled. Your Netflix time is scheduled. And what is important for me? Preparing a speech, unscheduled. Doing my passion, unscheduled. I want you to reverse that. Schedule things which are important for you and keep a separate time for your distractions. I will watch TV only for whenever I feel bored, but I will schedule. Exercise for me is very important. So I will exercise. I'll fix my exercise time from 6:30 to 7:30. I'll fix my research time from 7:30 to 9:30. And whatever time in the middle, if I'm feeling bored and all, I will see a Netflix movie or I'll see something like that. So schedule the important things in your life and leave the unimportant tasks to unschedule. But what happens mostly in our life is that our very, very silly activities are scheduled and our important activities are not scheduled. So that's the way you go through your distractions. Unschedule your distractions and schedule the things which are important in life.
Thank you, sir. That was definitely an important lesson that I think we all can inculcate. Thank you so much, sir, for being there today and inspiring us. With this, we conclude the Q&A with Dr. Rajdeep. As mentioned by him, take the jump. Start working on the initiative that you have been planning for or the opportunities that come to your way. Give life a chance. I thoroughly enjoyed moderating today's session, and I'm sure our audience today too shares the same opinion. Zoom Master, can we quickly take a screenshot with Sir today?
Request everyone to come up on video if you're comfortable. Take 10 seconds to do this.
Yes.
All right, smile, please. Got it. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Muskan.
Thank you so much, Sharon. Once again, tons of thanks to Dr. Rajdi for such an insightful session. I'm so sorry.
Thank you so much, and thank you very, very much for this opportunity. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to all of you all. I don't know if I'll be able to continue in the meeting, but thank you so much, all of you all, whoever has been present here. It's been an absolute delight speaking to you all. Thank you very, very much. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Now, with that, we come to an end of the first segment. Now, let's begin with the table topic segment of Power of One. And for that, we have someone who has a $1 billion smile and who is so enthusiastic. She's a chartered accountant working as a risk professional in Aditya Birla Capital. She's a Bharatanatyam dancer, an avid reader, runner, and trekker. She loves exploring new places and adventures. Over to you, Toastmaster Meenakshi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Muskan, for that warm introduction. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and future Toastmasters. I'm Meenakshi and I'm the table topic master for the day. This is an impromptu speech session like any normal Toastmasters meeting. But here today we have a twist. Or should I say 4 twists? Famous American writer Mark Twain had quoted, "It usually takes more than 3 weeks to prepare a good impromptu speech." But guess what? Here we just have a few seconds. It's an interesting session which will give all of us a chance to sharpen your listening, thinking, organizing, and speech delivery skills. The time allotted is 1 to 2 minutes. So the green screen will be displayed at 1 minute. The yellow screen will be displayed at 1.5 minutes, and the red screen will be displayed at 2 minutes. Also, there is a grace period of 30 seconds on the upper side. So, like I mentioned, that there will be 4 twists. So basically, we will be conducting this entire segment into 4 small rounds. Are you ready? Let's get started. The first round is called as one-word table topic round. It's very simple, just like the name suggests, you'll just have the topics in one word. So who's ready to take the jump?
Meenakshi, you might want to take a pick. First one.
All right. So I had seen KK doing a fire emoji. So would you like to start off?
That fire emoji is to encourage the guest, not as a raise hand, but anyway.
You can set the stage on fire with that emoji.
Sure. 1 second.
Yes.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes. Timer, could we have the cards, please? All right. Are you able to see the timer cards?
Yes, I can see white, green, again white, red. Yeah.
Okay. Good to go?
Yeah. So I need to. Okay. I'm receiving
Yes.
some messages. Okay. I need to speak
Okay.
on the word, right? Which you will be giving.
Yes.
Yeah,
So I'll
sure.
be giving you. This is very relevant because it's happening nowadays. So Toastmaster KK, monsoons. Monsoons, Toastmaster KK.
Okay. Coming from a place where we have beach, I come from Visakhapatnam. So monsoons is something which I really love. And my birthday also falls in the monsoon season. So most of the time it was a rainy day and I can skip school and I can enjoy cricket in the evening with my friends on my birthday. But I do hate one thing about monsoons, with which this generation students or people may not have faced: the power cuts. I can never watch TV. If it is raining heavily, there will be a power cut in my colony. So I cannot watch my favorite He-Man show. Usually it comes at 5 p.m. and on Sundays. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. So that is one thing which I dearly miss when it is raining. And second thing is, my mother will not allow me to go out of the house, from the house. So somewhere I need to find an excuse, or I need to wait for someone to visit my house so that she can have a conversation and I can quickly jump from the other door. But nowadays, monsoons, yeah, they are good, and people even travel in the monsoon season. They wait and wait for the monsoon season to travel. Even I have already planned my Ladakh trip, which is on July 24th. I am waiting for that as well. And another place which I love to visit in monsoons is Kerala. Fantastic place, especially Munnar. That is a nice place to visit during the monsoon time. But in this Corona time, I would recommend one thing: please do have inverters at your house, so that if there is a power cut during the monsoon time, you can still have the uninterrupted Zoom calls or binge watch or whatever. I love monsoons in 2020, but I do hate them in 90s. So that is my take on monsoons. Thank you so much, Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, KK, for your interesting take on the topic. Next, I see Shrikant. Would you like to go ahead for the next topic? Okay. Can you do your audio video check?
Am I audible and visible?
Yes. Are you able to see the timer cards?
Yes.
Okay. Toastmaster Shrikant, sports, Toastmaster Shrikant.
Thank you for giving me very easy topic, which usually we don't need to take 10 seconds of time. Sports, that is the one from childhood onwards. If you consider the two words school or sports, first we are going to consider the sports. Even if we went to the school also, first thing, when is that sports time? We are having the PT match, right? We are going to check the calendar. When is that sports time? Then we can go we went the ground and we can able to spend that time, which we are spending more than 80% of the time in the class. That is the exciting time. Coming to my favorite sport, as like most of the population in India, cricket. And as in most of the things, as whenever we see the bowlers, I am inspired by the Agrathar who are having around 6 feet, right? That if I can feel that as a 6 feet guy, I can see that I am also like the McGrath, I like people, but I'm not that much of great bowler. But that is the time where I could able to spend and where I could able to enjoy the things in my routine job. Usually in the Saturday, Sunday before pandemic, I used to, without spending that time at least 3 hours in the ground, I can't able to sleep at the night. That is my refresh time at the Saturday and Sunday. But once the pandemic comes, it is very difficult. I have the kids at home. I need to take care of all these things, right? And that is the where I could able to show my flip version. Usually people are considering I'm very boring candidate, but when I went into the sports thing, they can say it is we didn't think even I can able to show my emotions like angry, comedy, like seriousness, jokes, all the emotions. It is the different feeling. Within the 2 hours, it's like Aparchutra. I don't know in what that movie called in Tamil also there. Those many things I could able to show for that. That sports, and I enjoyed the sports at whatever the situation. Usually I can't able to say that is something personal, but that's the one where I could able to show my interest and all those things with the split personality of mine while doing the sports. Over to you, Toastmaster Meenakshi.
Thank you so much. I see that Chandrasekhar has raised his hand. So yes, Chandrasekhar, would you like to do an audio video check? You're on mute.
Am I audible and visible?
Yes. Timer, can we have the cards? Yeah. Are you able to see the timer cards?
Yes.
Toastmaster Chandrasekhar, cake, Toastmaster Chandrasekhar.
May I just confirm once? K-I-C-K, right?
No, cake, C-A-K-E, the cake that you eat.
Cake.
Yeah.
Okay. C-A-K. Think of this. In school, we are having a birthday party at our home. Our friends are sitting and we have everything from chiuda, or we have some other Indian sweets along with some other refreshments. But most importantly, cake. A cake is something that sweetens us all. We want it on New Year's, on birthdays, as well as on anniversaries and every time. Most of the time, the cake also goes on face, but it's not that important because cake, what is a cake? It is just a thing to celebrate. Wine is not possible, so most of the time people go with cakes. But the cake is just not a food to eat. It can give you some different aspects in life. Like a cake is always ordered on a birthday. That is, it is a special food. So there are always special people and special moments in life. Those moments which we always remember, think of them as cakes. All the other foods that we eat are always there, but cakes, we all know the names of each and every different types of cakes. No other cake, no other food types we might never know. Like for chicken, you would say 3 or 4 dishes, but for cake, we know Black Forest, it is strawberry, and it is pineapple, and so on. That is the thing. Every cake is special, and so are your life moments. Try and see which different type of cake you can experience today, tomorrow, or every time. Be open to tasting it and be open to enjoy the birthday celebration or the celebration that life is. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Chandrasekhar. I also see that people have put cake emojis. All right. Okay. So I have next Ajay raising his hand. But before that, I would want to introduce the next twist in the table. That is the next segment. It is called as Switch. It's very simple. I will give you one topic. It is like a debate. once you start arguing for a topic, I will say in between switch, and then you have to go against the topic. Is it clear? Okay, Toastmaster Ajay, would you like to do your audio video check?
Yes. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you
Okay.
are.
But I cannot see the timer cards. Could you please display them? Yes, I can see that. White,
Okay,
green, yes, red. Perfect.
okay. So we'll start the switch round with Toastmaster Ajay. Toastmaster Ajay, dogs are better than cats. Dogs are better than cats, Toastmaster Ajay.
Okay. Dogs are better than cats. So I remember when I was a kid, when I was a boy, there used to be a dog in our house. Its name is Julie. But as I grew up, I don't know what happened, but one day my father declared that it is no more. So I went like into a depression kind of a thing. I used to love animals a lot. So my father used to work in FCI, Food Corporation of India. They have godowns. So they're pigeons, parrots. So they're used to like fell on the ground, and my father used to pick them and brought them to home, and we used to serve them. We used to treat their wounds and make them fly again. So when it comes to a dog, I love so much. Like I love the dogs, and also the cats. Cats like I don't have that much of interaction with like closeness with the cats, but a dog is a good friend of man, and it has a lot
Switch.
of. Okay, so there are two types of dogs: mad dogs and domestic dogs. So one day when I was passing on the road, I just greeted a dog, like saying few like kind of things, but all of a sudden it came on to me and bited me on my leg, and I had to undergo some injections kind of a thing. So those things will be there with the dogs. So be careful when you are treating a dog. Okay, be careful. But cats won't do that one. Cats are very lovely creatures. Even when we do kind of a thing, they run away from us, and then they don't bite. They don't do any kind of a things. But cats are very lovely animals. Yeah, thank you so much, Meenakshi, for giving this topic.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So next, I can see Vinod raising his hand. So Vinod, if you can do an audio video check.
Am I audible?
Yes.
And is my camera good enough?
Yes.
Okay. I can see the timer cards.
You're able to see, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Toastmaster Vinod, physical books are better than Kindle. Physical books are better than Kindle, Toastmaster Vinod.
Thanks, Meenakshi, for that great topic. I surely dwell on that almost all the time. Physical book, it's something that is great to read. It gives you that feel that you're holding something in the hand and you can relate to everything that you're reading. You can get the emotions, you can feel the anger, you can feel the pain whenever you have that book in your hand and you're going through that paragraphs and reading through the character and understanding what it is. So physical books is always and always better than a Kindle version. And don't worry that it will take space, it's worth it. That you will feel what it is to read a book. And in a Kindle thing, I don't think you have that feeling. So trust
Switch.
me, but imagine you're traveling and you need to be in touch with your books. At that time, it's pretty hard to take all those physical books with you. In that case, Kindle is the one that can help you and come to your rescue. Imagine more than 100 books that you can store in your app and take it along with you in just this phone. That is what Kindle makes it possible. It makes you take as many books as you want and you can surely enjoy wherever you are, be it in your home, be it in your office, be it in the train that you are using to travel to your native place. So Kindle is always and will always be better for those who love to travel and read when they are traveling. So that is what it is. So if you ask me, if you are a traveler who likes to travel a lot, take Kindle with you all the time and you will be a happy person who can enjoy the travel as well as the essence of what a good book is all about. Thank you, Meenakshi. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vinod, for that. Next, who would like to volunteer? Manish, okay. Manish, can you do an audio video check?
Yeah, am I audible and visible?
Yes.
Yep,
Yes, are you able to see the timer card?
Yes, it's
Yes.
visible.
Okay. So it's still the same category switch. Okay. Toastmaster Manish, clothes make the best first impression. Clothes make the best first impression. Toastmaster Manish.
Most of us, we all watch series, right? We watch series, we watch movies. Clothes can also be called as an outfit or something which you're wearing on yourself, right? If you watch Harry Potter, what is more amazing, the character or the outfit? If you watch Spider-Man or any hero movie, what is amazing, the character or the outfit? The outfit, right? So the same way goes in life. If anyone wears a clothing which is quite attractive to what you are thinking, that person looks the best for you. Am I right or wrong? Obviously, I am right, because whenever you even have this small love at first sights, if the person is wearing a very haggard dress, would you like him? You wouldn't. But if a person is wearing a quite good, neat, and iron dress, you will for sure fall for that person. So outfit actually plays a lot and lot of weightage in coming to liking a person. And if you observe, all of our mentalities completely differ. For a few of us, we like tone jeans. A few of us like a complete whole jeans. Few of us like formals, few of us like casual. But the clothing completely impacts differ from one person to another person. If you go to an elderly person with a tone jeans, he'll be like, "Che, what are you wearing? I'll pull your jeans down." If you go to a young person, he's like, "Oh wow, it's quite fashionable." If you go to a
Switch.
young person with full, so if you see, in among all of these things, the clothing does play an impact, but what plays the best impact even more? If in case Spider-Man just wore his outfit and just walked on the streets, he would be called a fool. But because of his deeds and his activities, he is called actually the hero. The same way goes. If you just wear an outfit, it doesn't matter much. If your work and your words are quite valuable as you prove it, at the time you are a right person. So always remember, the long-lasting thing is always your activities. It is true, clothes play a weightage, but a small weightage. The actual thing are the words and the actions which you do. Over to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Manish, for that lovely take on the topic. So before moving ahead, I would like to say that we are at the end of the second segment. The third segment is called quotes. So it's very simple, like the name suggests. There will be a quote and you will have to speak impromptu on that quote. So who would like to volunteer? Toastmaster Manasa, would you like to go ahead?
I sense that Rahul sent a direct message to you to throw me under the bus, but yes, I would like to take up the next topic.
All right. You're audible, you're visible. Are you able to see the timer cards?
Yes.
Okay. Toastmaster Manasa, when nothing goes right, go left. When nothing goes right, go left. Toastmaster Manasa.
Thank you, Table Topics Master. When nothing goes right, go left. I agree with the topic and disagree with it at the same time. I agree with it because when nothing goes right, there is no point in staying there and doing what we have been doing for quite a long time when it still hasn't been going right. I disagree with it because when you spend so much of time working towards something and it still doesn't go right, you still have an emotional attachment to it. You don't just give up and walk away from it. You stay there, you don't leave it, you don't go left, you don't go right. You go forward with it. So a lot of times I have been in the situations where I was put in a spot where I had to choose whether or not I want to leave or stay there and move forward. So judging by expressions of Toastmaster Sharon, I believe that she has been through a lot of these situations. So one such situation was our Area G3 series. We had this series called the Golden Ticket series, where we wanted to have one theme every month, and each of the club of our area wanted to organize events and make it work. It was supposed to be like a bonding exercise for all of us, and it was supposed to teach us how to organize. Till January 2021, we had our ups, downs. We were going through a lot of phases, but at the end of January 2021, it became a one-person show. It became just one person running the entire thing instead of us coming together as an area. So when the purpose of the series was not met and nobody was getting anything out of it, though we had a lot of emotional investment, we spent 7 months working on that series and it just wasn't meeting the purpose by that point. So after 7 wonderful episodes, we finally closed that series because it just wasn't meeting the purpose. So it doesn't matter whether things go right or wrong. If it doesn't meet the purpose, then you walk away. Thank you, and back to tabletop.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your take, Toastmaster Manasa. Next, I can see Toastmaster Sanat. Would you like to give the topic a try?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. You can do an audio video check.
Yeah. Am I audible and clearly visible?
Yes. Are you able to see the timer cards?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Toastmaster Sanat, in the cookie of life, the friends are like chocolate chips. In the cookie of life, friends are like chocolate chips.
Okay. Okay. In the cookie of life. So let's go with the cookie itself. And I really love cookie and I really love to eat it. But what makes it so tasty? I don't really like the other things much, but I like the most is the chips, chocolate chips. So which is the sweetest part of that. Similarly, in our life also, the sweetest part are our friendships, our best friends that we choose, like from our schools, from in college or anywhere in our locality, where our friends are those who give us memories, who give us some happy memories, and with whom we have the best time of our lives. So that, yeah. And okay, and so in that moments, even today, if I am not able to meet many of the friends because some live in different states, some have gone abroad, but still I have those sweet memories like chocolate chips, then those sweet nostalgic memories with whom I can live and enjoy. So you have rightly said, in the cookie of life, the chocolate chips are the friends or friendships. So yeah, back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for those sweet memories. Arvind sir, would you like to give a topic a try?
All right, go ahead.
Yes, you are audible, you're visible, and timer, could we have the cards, please? All right. Toastmaster Arvind, failing to plan is planning to fail. Failing to plan is planning to fail, Toastmaster Arvind.
It's a beautiful topic and something that always is said And there are two people here who would very, very greatly agree with this topic. One is Rahil and the other one is Sharon. All through the whole program for this year, it has been a great planning experience where they have put their head together to come up with various topics and have the right people coach them so that each of the programs are delivered to the best. And I must say that the job has been well done over these years. And do you think it was easy? All the show that you're seeing here today, nobody sees the sweat and the strain that has gone behind the whole thing of planning. And they planned it not because it should fail, but because it should make a great impact and deliver the message that is intended for. And that's why we do this. And I'm happy to say that, yes, it's been a great event all through the year. Kudos to both of you and to all, each and every participant whom they have mentored and made this a very successful program. Over to you, Meenakshi.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, that brings us to the end of the third segment. Now, the last segment is very easy. I'll be sharing a PPT and there will be a picture on that. So you have to speak about whatever is your interpretation of the picture.
Sounds like a plan, Meenakshi.
Yes. All right, is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes. Who would like to give the first topic a try? Has anybody raised their hand? I'm not able to see.
No, Meenakshi, not yet. You might have to pick someone.
Okay.
Are you able to see the participants?
Yes. Ram Gopal, would you like to give it a try? The first topic.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is the blank screen visible to you?
Yeah.
So I'll just display the card and then immediately I'll unshare my screen so that you will be able to see the timer cards.
Okay.
Okay. Toastmaster Ram Gopal, your topic is. You got it, right?
Yeah. Yes. So here the topic is jogging. Jogging, or even if you say running, right, is a good exercise for yourself, and it'll always be very wise to always run in the morning time, specifically when it gives very good oxygen level as well as the beautiful breath for your lungs. Specifically during this pandemic period, which can improve your immunity level and which can keep your the nasal tract cleaner, you can always jog in the morning. And exercise will always keep you very healthy, be it summer, winter, or rainy. And exercise will always keep you healthy. So this can keep you very well in any season. So here, right, the main point is to say that specifically either brisk walking or jogging or running will always keep you fit and healthy. So this is the bottom line to specifically say during this pandemic period, not necessarily only whether it is corona, right? Any pandemic period, maybe it was during even malaria, which was during 1910, even during that period, healthy living is the utmost required activity. So for that, you can keep your health by many means. One of them is through jogging or running or brisk walking. And thank you, and over to you, madam.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ram Gopal, for your
Yeah,
healthy
welcome.
take on the topic.
Yeah, welcome, ma'am.
Next, Toastmaster Manideep, would you like to give the next topic a try?
Yes, Meenakshi, I would love to take it. In fact, the previous topic was my favorite topic.
Right. So are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Toastmaster Manideep, your topic is, you got it?
This is my favorite topic actually. So, all the best, Manadeep.
If there is one thing that we can live without, that is food. That moment we wake up in the morning till the time we sleep, we survive on it. And I am no less than everybody. However, I've been a bit more than everybody here. I am a big foodie. And I also love to travel. Whenever I go to any place, the first thing I do is go to Google, check if there are any good places to eat, and I make sure to go to that place and taste the local delicacies. Food has taken me as far as Maldives to the remote corners of Northeast, be it trying fried ants in Nagaland, to trying dokla in Gujarat, to trying the Vajwan cuisine in Kashmir, to the spicy food in Sri Lanka. I have so many memories. And food is something where everybody can sit together, share their thoughts, share their ideas. We can bond with so many friends. I still remember that I was part of a foodies group in Hyderabad a few years ago. And being a part of that foodies group gave me that leverage and opportunity to try to so many restaurants and try the food for free. When I said free, they used to invite us to try the menu before they put it out for the people who used to come later. So we used to review them. We used to suggest how it can be made better. So isn't that amazing? So whenever you get an opportunity, try to join those groups. Try to see if you can make friends. You can share your thoughts. And last but not the least, the one thing that feeds our soul is the food. Over to you, Meenakshi.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Manideep. I'm sure many of us are wondering, how did you get it for free? We also would like to join those groups. So we have time for the last two topics. Toastmaster Sumitra, would you like to give the next topic a try?
Yes. Tell me.
All right. Are you able to see the screen? Oh, it's a blank screen right now.
Yes.
Yes. Toastmaster Sumitra, your topic is, you got it, right?
Yes. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Good evening to all the Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Myself, Sumitra from Northeast, Pune Northeast Club. And the picture is showing to the we all like to go to outside during the vacation, and now corona time is going on, so that's why we all are in at our home. But every every vacation, we try to go to the vacation for a refreshing. And vacation is one of the refreshing things. So we are missing that thing nowadays, but definitely, hopefully next year, everybody will plan and go to the next new place. And when we go to the new place, we get to know many things, and we explore many things. So in my life, I went to the different countries, and I went to many beautiful countries, and learned a lot and enjoyed a lot. And thank you for giving me this topic. Thank you very much. Over to Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sumitra, for your take on the topic. So we have the last topic, and I promise you it's a very special one. So please volunteer for this. Okay, Toastmaster Krishna, would you like to give the last topic a try?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Can you do an audio video check, Toastmaster Krishna?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you able to see the screen?
1 second. Yes, I can see the blank screen.
All right. Toastmaster Krishna, your topic is
Toastmaster International. Is that the one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Toastmasters International is the platform where we can improve our communication skills. It is a non-profit organization, and we can learn a lot, and it is very good platform, and it's a very good networking platform. You can develop your networking skills, communication skills, leadership skills from here, learning from the people, and spreading your knowledge, giving your knowledge to others, communicating each other. It will be helpful for everyone. So these communication skills are very important in this fast growing situations. So it is a very good platform, and we can improve a lot here by utilizing and by seeking the advices from the leaders, senior distinguished Toastmasters from the people. And you will never regret by paying the fee here, membership fee, because always it is a very good platform to get mentor, and we have very good excellent leaders here. And actually the Toastmasters is where the leaders are made. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Krishna. And that brings us to the end of the table topics round. It was totally enjoyable. I had a blast being the table topic master, and thank you to all the participants for making this a memorable one. Thank you so much. That's been my time. Over to you, Toastmaster Sharon.
Thank you very much, Table Topic Master, Toastmaster Meenakshi. You were a fabulous Table Topic Master. Now, as the timer also for the day, let me quickly inform everyone of the timings for the Table Topic speakers' timings. We had Toastmaster Krishnakant taking 2 minutes 11 seconds. Toastmaster Shrikant taking 2 minutes 21 seconds. Toastmaster Chandrasekhar taking 1 minute 59 seconds. Toastmaster Ajay taking 2 minutes. Toastmaster Vinod taking 2 minutes 8 seconds. Toastmaster Manish taking 2 minutes 7 seconds. Toastmaster Manasa taking 2 minutes 18 seconds. Distinguished Toastmaster Arvind taking 1 minute 42 seconds. Toastmaster Ram Gopal taking 1 minute 54 seconds. Distinguished Toastmaster Manideep taking 2 minutes 19 seconds, Toastmaster Sumitra taking 1 minute 27 seconds, and Toastmaster Krishna taking 1 minute 31 seconds. I hope I didn't cross my time to announce that. And also we are on time with running and closing this meeting as well. Before I pass it on, I just want to say that every Toastmasters meeting is, well, it captures everyone's soul, right? But today's meeting, I think, managed to capture everyone's mind and hearts as well. The hearts with distinguished Toastmaster Rajdeep's session, so much to take back personally as well. And well, Toastmaster Meenakshi managed to keep our minds racing with all the topics, wonderful topics. So thank you, Meenakshi, as well for doing that. I'm not going to take a lot more of your time, but it's been a pleasure seeing you in each of these meetings. And I'm going to hand it over to Toastmaster Rahil to take the proceedings further. Over to you, Toastmaster Rahil.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sharon. Good evening, everyone. Once again, we have come to the end of second segment, and now we are approaching to a very important segment, as we have our district leaders who should be addressing the crowd today, as we have run a year-long initiative, and both the initiatives have finally come together for one last meeting in June for the Toastmaster year. So first, for them to address the crowd, I would like to call upon one of the most amazing district leaders that we have, the Division E Director, who has been the reason behind this and many such meetings, distinguished Toastmaster Manideep. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Rahil, and your entire team for the warm invitation. It's always a pleasure to speak at Power of Fun or Beyond Toastmasters. I feel like it's my second family. Yeah. I would want to share one statement that I always believe about the kind of events that we did this year. I believe the success is achieved by ordinary people with extraordinary determination. So whenever I read these statements, it reminds me of fun and Beyond Toastmasters. Despite the current challenge and the population and the havoc that it has caused, did not stop anybody from doing something extraordinary. All of you have taken that plunge with Arvind and Sapna at the help, and Rahil, Sharon, and the entire Power of Fun team. You did a phenomenal job throughout the year, consistently and continuously. Kudos to each one of you. And I would also like to appreciate my heartfelt gratitude to dear friend and area director Krishna Kant. He is the reason that today Beyond Toastmasters has been so successful, that we also have one upcoming talk that was planned in the last minute, probably going to happen in another couple of days. So we have a special guest who is none other than our international president, Richard E. Peck. So I urge each one of you to attend the event. If you have any questions, please do share with me. If time permits, I will try to ask those questions. And I want all of you to do similar, if not much bigger and better events like Power of Fun and Beyond Toastmasters in the next year as well. Events like this show what we can do as a team. This kind of events will bring everybody together. We can learn from each other. It does not just restrict us to one club or two clubs or 5 clubs. We are one. Toastmasters is one. We are an organization with close to 360,000 people and 15,600 clubs. So there's so much scope and so much learning that we can learn when we go outside our club, when we can take part in initiatives like this. And I wish each one of you all the very best in your journey. May you all rise and shine. Back to you, Rahil.
Thank you so much, Manideep. Thank you so much for helping me in arranging this meeting. I cannot. I'm really thankful for the entire team of Beyond Toastmasters also, because we could finally collaborate for this meeting. As you rightly said, it is a great opportunity for all of us. Now that distinguished Toastmaster Manideep has addressed the crowd, we have distinguished Toastmaster Sapna from the Power of One who will be addressing all of you. Over to you, Sapna.
Thank you so much, and sorry for joining late as always, because I know that my team is already there. Rahil, Shannon, they're all there to take care of things. But I thought I have to come back and show my face. Otherwise, my mentor is not going to like it. But it was last year in the month of May when this concept we came up with this one concept of Power of One. And since it was online, everybody was going to different districts across the globe, and everybody wanted to collaborate with everybody around, but nobody was collaborating within District 98. So I know Hardik came up with the concept and he said, why don't you just go ahead and do a meeting just for District 98? And I remember my first go-to person was Rahil. I said, can we do it? He's like, yeah, let's do it. And then it just started. Then when the term started last year, 1st of July, he comes up and he says, can we do this thing again? I said, I don't mind if you're ready to handle it, but who's going to partner with you? So 1 month, poor guy actually did it on his own. And then the next month he comes and he says, can I have someone else also become part of it if you're okay with it? I said, as long as you can handle, I don't mind. And that's how Sharon also joined the bandwagon with us. Arvind was already there. And then they both took off. I'd never had to do anything. And they know that I have always been missing in action for both of them, but they just took it off. I didn't have to do much. And then 6 months down the line today, it's like impossible. It's hard to believe it's already like we're at the last chapter but this is not going to end. This is not the end. I have already told Joy and Aman as well that I am going to continue Power of One no matter what happens. Because, everybody, when you look at success, people look at the number of attendees that come to your event. For me, even if it is 20 to 30 members who are coming and attending the event, I know that they are taking something from this meeting, the way we want to spread the quality, and they're taking it back to their own clubs. That makes the difference, because those 20 people are taking it back to 200 more people. That's how I look at things. So for me, success is this. The word is spreading. People are participating. They want to be there. It's a district event. However, I think this would not have been possible if I have been so relaxed when it comes to Power of One, is only because of these folks, Arvind, Sharon, and Rahil, and not to forget my PR team, who's always been there, all 4 of them. They have always, always, always supported. And I don't think this would have been successful. I am actually emotional a little bit, but yeah. But we are going to continue this. I'm not going to leave you guys so easy. And we are going to get better with the next year. And I just hope, and I'm happy that this time we collaborated with Beyond Toastmasters, because it's just amazing. Manideep and KK have done a fantabulous job in this one. And I think I always wanted to collaborate with you guys, and now we are going to make it much more. Right? So congratulations. I think it's been a wonderful journey. It's been a wonderful year. And thank you so much, everybody who's participated, who's present on the call today and who's not present on the call, but you all know that it's because of you guys that we were all successful. It was truly the Power of One of entire District 98, which has brought us where we are today. And I hope that this continues and we keep spreading the word, we keep spreading quality across District 98, and we keep helping clubs the way we are. So thank you so much. Over to you, Rahil.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so before I take over the stage and officially end the meeting for you, before that I would like to call upon another very important member of the team who has been doing a similar job with us throughout the year, Toastmaster KK, to declare the winner of the table topic session and share a few words from his side. Over to you, KK.
Thank you so much, Rahil. So can we have the slide first, or you want me to talk first?
Totally your call, KK.
Okay, then I'll share my experience. Just 2 weeks gap was there for Beyond Toastmasters first meeting and Power of One first meeting. I still remember I was so nervous on the first meeting. I don't know how to do a Facebook Live, how to record. The first person or the only person whom I contacted is Sapna Ori. I have recorded the conversation also. I've sent her. So I tried calling everybody, but they were so occupied because it's first meeting and they have their own deadlines. Then she explained me everything. After that, I understood, okay, this is how we need to do. And she was also our, if it's a second, vote of thanks person. Whenever there is nobody, we used to go to Sapna, please come and give vote of thanks. So she never said no. I still remember one Beyond Toastmaster episode where she was in that Golden Temple Amritsar, and then she has given vote of thanks from there for just 1 to 2 minutes. So that shows how much respect leaders give to members or initiative like this. So that encouragement is what pushed us to do this Beyond Toastmasters continuously without failing even one single episode. So finally, we have our season 2 finale on Tuesday with Richard Peck. I extend my warm welcome and invite to our dearest Power of One members as well. Please attend that meeting. And I enjoy Rahil's moderation whenever, not only in this Power of One, also in Heatham Club meetings. He was so lively, energetic, and I am also following him in Clubhouse. So please do follow him. He will always come up with interesting initiatives. I always love to do something new. So thank you to Manedeep for giving me this opportunity and most importantly, believing in me. I have never done something like this before. So the amount of trust he keeps in his team members, that is the only factor with which we can go beyond the mile and achieve everything. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for this idea of collaborating. I just loved it. I'm recording this meeting locally also so that I can go back and visit this. This is a wonderful memory. Thank you so much, Rahil. Thank you so much, Power of One.
Can you declare the winner also?
Yes, sure. The best table topic speaker for today's joint meeting is none other than distinguished Toastmaster Arvind sir. Congratulations, Arvind sir. Can we have him? Yeah.
Thank you, but can we give it to the next person, please?
Thank you so much, TK. Before, I will not bore you guys, but I would like to share a couple of words. Making these meetings happen have been a great experience for me myself also. I feel both Beyond Toastmasters and the Power of Fun have been a vision of a couple of leaders, and then we could fortunately carry it forward for the entire year. And we heartfully thank everyone who came up with the vision, both Manedeep and Sapna. The vision that they gave us and they believe that we can take it forward for an entire year means a lot. And I personally got to share my entire timetable with Sharon, someone who have till date not met face to face, but thanks to the unfortunate event of the lockdown, which made this happen. And I hope that I'll be able to meet everyone who collaborated for this meeting at least once before we move apart to the rest of the journey. But today I'll take an excuse from Arvind sir, and I will do something which is not aligned with the agenda. As it is the last meeting of the year for Power of Fun, and we have an episode for Beyond Toastmasters. As a presiding officer, I would ask Arvind sir to close the meeting officially for him. Over to you,
Arvind. Thank you very much. This is an unprecedented honor. I didn't expect this at all. Thank you very much. It's been a great experience, and I'm so happy that I was able to contribute and share my experiences over the 13 years I have been in Toastmaster, and for the leadership learnings that I have taken, and to see that the district gets to a wonderful position, not only in the region, but in the world of Toastmasters. And I'm happy to see so many initiatives that have been taken and Toastmasters coming up to take up those initiatives and to see it through. I will always be there to help you out whenever it's required. Thank you, and I now declare the meeting closed.
Thank you so much. Everyone who has stayed back, can we take another screenshot? We have taken one group photo already, but Manedeep and Sapna has joined us now. So can we take another screenshot? Sharon, can you please do it?
Yes. All right, smile, please. Captured. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone who has joined us today. I hope we'll see you again at the last meeting of Beyond Toastmasters on 29th.
Yes, on 29th.
Thank you so much. Thanks to all the role players. Thank you, Sakshi. Thank you, Meenakshi.